My dad was strapped to a stretcher, gasping for air, and Karen refused to move her SUV. What happened next made headlines.
She blocked my dad's medical transport. Police ordered her to court. There are a lot of things I thought I'd see in this life, but watching my dad strapped to a gurney, sweating and gasping for air, while a woman with a reusable coffee cup refused to move her SUV, that was a new level of rage. My name's Deja Martin. I'm 34, full-time caregiver to my father, Lionel Martin, retired firefighter, stroke survivor, and stubbornly proud even on his worst days. We live in Rosewood Park, a quiet, middle-class suburb where folks care more about how green your lawn is than who lives in the house next to it. And then there's Karen. Moved in 6 months ago, corner lot, Range Rover with tinted windows, and a talent for turning everything into a policy discussion. She once complained that my dad's wheelchair ramp was lowering property values. Another time, she asked me if those loud ambulances could try coming through the back entrance next time. But Tuesday morning, she took her audacity global. Dad had a complication, not life-ending, but urgent. Weak pulse, confused, sweating. I called 911, explained he was post-stroke and diabetic, and within 10 minutes, our regular medical transport was in the driveway. The EMTs were familiar. They knew our house, knew my dad's condition, but as they tried to reverse the gurney out toward the rear doors, they stopped cold. Karen had parked her SUV sideways across the end of our drive. Not in front, not near, across, blocking the entire path. EMT Carla knocked on her window first. Polite, calm. "Ma'am, we've got an active medical transport. We need you to move immediately." Karen didn't roll down the window. She sipped her latte, gave a look like they were the inconvenience. Carla knocked again. "Ma'am, this is time sensitive." Karen finally cracked the window just enough to say, "You people are always using emergencies as excuses. Maybe he doesn't need such a dramatic exit every time." My jaw dropped. From the porch, I screamed, "My dad is having a medical crisis. Move the car." She replied, loud and clear, "Then maybe you should schedule your emergencies better." That was the moment EMT Carla hit record on our body cam. 5 minutes passed. My dad was still on the stretcher, starting to shake. EMTs had to adjust oxygen. Every second mattered. I called the cops. They arrived within 4 minutes. When Officer Daniels got out of his cruiser and saw Karen casually leaned on her car, still blocking the path, he didn't even hesitate. "Ma'am, this is obstruction of emergency services. Move your vehicle now or we'll tow it." Karen turned that fake charm voice on and said, "I was just waiting for them to figure out their logistics." He pointed, "You're going to figure out the court schedule instead." She was cited right there in front of the entire neighborhood. Not just a ticket, a mandatory court summons for interference with emergency medical operations. The police moved her SUV themselves once she refused. And finally, they got my father into the van. But you know what hurt the most? He looked up at me, his voice dry and thin, and said, "Why are they treating us like we're a burden?" I didn't have an answer. I still don't. But the universe has its way. Janelle, the teen from 3 houses down, had recorded the whole thing from her window. The video had hit TikTok that night, then Twitter, then local news. Headline: "Woman blocks medical van, tells family to schedule emergencies better." Karen's face was everywhere by Thursday. Her job suspended her, HOA removed her. Her car, well, it was keyed so many times she stopped parking on the street altogether. The court date came quick. She tried to plead that she didn't understand the urgency, that she was just getting out of the way. The judge read her quote aloud. "Schedule your emergencies better." The courtroom gasped. She was fined, put on probation, required to take community emergency response training, and ordered to write a formal, notarized apology to my father, which now hangs in a cheap frame on his living room wall, under the firefighter badge he wore for 28 years. He didn't want revenge, just dignity, and I think, finally, he got it. As for Karen, last I heard she was selling the house. Apparently the neighborhood's too dramatic now. But let me ask you, what would you have done if someone blocked your father's ambulance? Should that be considered a felony? Drop your thoughts below, because one day the emergency might be yours.